Hi, my name is Sahgal and I teach at the University of Sheffield. My chapter highlights some key concerns that we must think through when engaging with decolonization of criminal law in India. And it makes 3 suggestions. First, that we should seriously consider whether we want to retain the terminology of decolonization in the Indian context. And this is because the language of decolonization has often been used by Hindutva or Hindu nationalist groups to make arguments to revert to a mythical past before the British Empire and before other empires ruled by Muslim rulers. When India is imagined in homogeneous Hindu terms, to the exclusion of all religious minorities and especially Muslims. So the language is used to uphold the caste system and heteropatriarchy and impose a homogeneous order on a multilingual, multicultural and multi-religious peoples. And this terminology of decolonization is used by these Hindutva goals and Hindutva groups to mask their Hindutva ideology in seemingly progressive language. And this should make us pause to consider whether we want to retain the terminology of decolonization in the Indian context. Second, whatever terminology that we eventually agree upon, whether it's decolonization or anti-colonialism or something else, the chapter explores what this means in the context of criminal law in India. And to understand this, it argues that we should look at the particularities of colonization in India and its relationship with criminal law. So criminal law processes and penal institutions were used by the British Empire to uphold British economic and political interests and to oppress and dominate peoples in India. In post-independence India, criminal law is not used entirely differently from that. So criminal law is used to curb political dissent, to oppress and dominate subalterns. And given these particularities, the chapter proposes that we conceptualize decolonization as dismantling the use of criminal law to uphold these intersecting systems of oppression and domination, including the caste system, capitalism, heteropatriarchy, and of course, Hindutva against caste subalterns, including Adivasis or indigenous peoples, Dalits, caste minorities, caste oppressed groups, and other subalterns. And third, the chapter argues that this process of decolonization or dismantling the use of criminal law for these to be used for these purposes must take place through the participation of the subalterns who bear the brunt of criminal law. And through this process of decolonization led by these subalterns, we may radically reimagine or completely abolish criminal law in India as we know it.